Out of Clemson, South Carolina, guess what? We just got another 4-star commit for the 2024 class, and this one is no surprise, but you always have to hesitate for just a moment. Ricardo Jones, the safety out of Warner Robins, Georgia, has just committed to Clemson over schools like, I don't know, Florida State and Tennessee. So this is part of a string of 4-star commitments that Clemson has received over the past 3 weeks that has been, quite frankly, uplifting to any Clemson fan, any Clemson pessimist, kind of like myself, who over the past few years really question a lot of things. And if you really want to get things on track, after hiring a really incredible, sought-after offensive coordinator like Garrett Riley, what's the next move? Well, it's to get those commitments. So I'm going to dive into Ricardo Jones, a little bit about his background, who he had offers from. Before I go any farther, hey, I'm Brian Knight. I am not Bobby Durkins. Maybe I am, but not right here. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. That's the little bell. I don't know why I do that. Stupid. It notifies you when I go live. Also, if you hit the thumbs up, that will help the channel. I do appreciate that. And feel free to post this in any forums that you're part of. And I do appreciate it. So, for my pessimist out there, kind of like myself, you're going, and I've said this with the other videos that I've done on those who have committed to Clemson recently. Anyone can decommit. Okay, that's going to happen. One of my followers on here, Kristen Park, she said it. Hey, it happens, but overall, it's the step in the right direction. Now, I didn't say that verbatim, but or make her comment verbatim or say it that way. But folks, when you start to have players of this magnitude committing this early, that's a big deal. It lets you know that they believe in the program. Now, I'm going to open up 24/7 Sports, and I'm just going to share. I'm going to share their page right here. And I think this will be really good. If you want to check this out, in fact, I'm going to copy the link and put it in the comment section over here, or in the chat section. Maybe I won't be able to share this. We'll see. There's a video playing. Trust me, the YouTube police will come after you. Oh no. But as I said, he's out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Clemson has got some really good players out of Warner Robins over the years. Young man, 6'3", 200 pounds. 2024 class. Also heard he's a very good basketball player. He's a very good basketball player. So I doubt he'll end up on Clemson's team because, well, until some changes are made, they'll waste the talent. Go through some of the offers that he had. Florida State, you see Florida State there. Kentucky, LSU, North Carolina, Notre Dame, South Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, Texas, Auburn. Auburn's right down the road from Warner Robins. That's a big deal. That is a very big deal. And when you have players like this, as I said, who is committing early, sure, you might lose a couple of them who's committed early, but the vast majority of them are going to sign. I really feel like I'm watching Clemson being revived. Now, I had someone come on my channel. They came on my channel and they made a comment about one of our recent commitments. And I said something along the lines, I did not say this completely, but I said that this is restoring faith in the Clemson community and that Clemson is on its path to being back. Not just a 10-win and an ACC championship. I'm talking about a team that is actually feared. I'm talking about a team that wouldn't lose 35-14 to Notre Dame. A Notre Dame team who got beat by Marshall and Stanford. Stanford of all people. A Clemson team that would have put up more of a fight against Tennessee. And this person said to me, you mean a couple of commits and all of a sudden you believe you're back? I never said that we're back. I said that this is showing that there is a revitalization going on within the Clemson community and most of all outside of the Clemson community based on perception. And getting Ricardo Jones to sign with Clemson, go back, look at that list again. SEC, ACC school that's been overrated. Florida State's a good football team. I'm not going to take away from them. But I believe they're overrated. SEC school, another major SEC power. Ooh, that team that went to the playoffs. A good team, Notre Dame. When Notre Dame comes calling, people talk trash about Notre Dame until they come to their school and try to recruit them. Another SEC team, an SEC team, a soon-to-be SEC team. Folks, that's a big deal. So when a guy of this magnitude who has his ability, this is a big body, 6'3", 200 pounds. That's a big safety, folks. I wouldn't be shocked if they converted him to linebacker if push come to shove. Transparently, I don't know his 40. But a guy like this who has offers like that, that's not common. I know we get caught up in the top 300 rankings, and this is not common. I know the proper term is uncommon, but it's not. And that we have a player like this who already says, look, I believe you have Sammy Brown coming to Clemson. You have Bryant Wesco, the wide receiver from Texas, leaving the state of Texas, leaving Texas and A&M and Texas Tech, who I don't know why everybody's so fired up on them. As I said on my show today, reviewing week 7 or previewing week 7 of the 2023 schedule, I said this comment and I stick by it. Texas Tech is known for really one thing, and that's having really good quarterbacks. Now, whether they're going to stick around or not, Baker Mayfield, there was another guy, I can't remember. Of course, Patrick Mahomes played there, but remember, Patrick Mahomes played there, and they wasn't that great. That's not a shot at old Patty boy. I'm just saying, Texas. Anyway, we got Bryant Wesco. We have these players who are committing to Clemson, and they're saying, look, we believe in what they're doing. And when we get to December, what is it? About December the 15th, somewhere in there, when what's now really the real National Signing Day. Used to be called Early Signing Day, but now it's the new norm. If Clemson has had a good season, a lot of things have turned around. Maybe they're not going to the college football playoff. Maybe they are. But if they have made the change, they're not getting blown out by Notre Dame, 35-14. That still should have never happened. Thank God for Nick Eason. Yes, Halo Master. Clemson signed another ACC level recruit. The LSU wanted. And everybody else. Yes, Halo Master. South Carolina, a wannabe SEC team couldn't get him. But what I was saying, when you have these players committing to Clemson, they're saying that they believe. And what I was going to say is that if Clemson has had a really good, solid season, don't be shocked if there's some people who does decommit from other teams. Or as the season moves on, they open up their recruiting again. And they choose Clemson. Why? Because I'm telling you, relevance in the college game is a bigger deal than in any other level of sports. High school sports, you can have the local legend who's coached there for 30 years. And people respect them because their fathers and their uncles and their older brothers or the whatever, they're telling them, yo, you have to respect this person because he's like if you played for John McKissick, the late, great John McKissick, the winningest high school coach in all of high school sports, coached at Summerville around Charleston, South Carolina, forever. You go and you coach, you go and you play for that guy. He probably couldn't tell you the name of any of the biggest stars in the NFL when he was alive. But you still respected him. That was your clout. In the NFL, it's nothing more than a business. It is a business. You get to the college sports, you have to be relevant. Bringing in someone like Lincoln Riley, even though it's on the offensive side of the ball, it tells players who play on both sides of the ball, all three sides of the ball, including special teams. It tells them something special is going on. I want to buy in. As a Clemson fan, I predict Clemson will be 9-3 or 10-2 in regular season. That I would lean towards 10-2. I don't see 3 losses. I could be wrong. It would not be the first time. I can give you the phone number of some family members and friends. They'll tell you that I've been wrong plenty enough. I've also been right plenty enough. But I will say this to you, R. While I agree with your sentiment, and it's not far-fetched, as I said, I lean towards 10-2 between those two predictions. If Clemson's offense is kicking, because I think the defense is going to be good, then you could throw that out the window and they'll have an incredible season. They might touch the playoffs. But I don't want Clemson to go to the playoffs and get their tail handed to them. You want to talk about bad for business? Nobody remembers the great season that TCU had last year. Why? 65-7. That's why. Grafnar, 5 generations of fans. Keith Jackson. God, the great Keith Jackson. So Ricardo Jones out of Warner Robins. This guy can play football. He's just an all-around fantastic athlete. Look at all those schools that came after him. And he's committed to the Tigers. He was being recruited by Mickey Kahn. Mickey lands it. That's a big deal. Look at that young man. I mean, my goodness. That kid, he's ready for business. He's ready to come up to Clemson and hit somebody. And I'm excited. Yeah, you're right. They were terrible against Wake Forest. I think that there was a lot going on behind the scenes as well. When Nick Eason went to Dabo Swinney and said, you got to do something about your offense. You got to do something. Thank God for Nick Eason. Thank God for Nick Eason. So, Ricardo Jones committing to Clemson. Obviously, the ink is not dry. The paper hasn't even been pulled out. But Ricardo Jones has committed to Clemson, and the future is looking very bright for the orange and white. So I just made that up, and it's really cheesy. So, folks, I tell you what I'm going to do. We're about 15 minutes in. I'm not going to make this a 30-minute video where I start talking about other things while I'm talking about Ricardo Jones, because someone's going to watch the Ricardo Jones video. Yes, Loggerhead TV. Nick was the one who called out Dabo in South Bend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down this video. If you like it, as I said, please pass this along to any of your forums, any groups you're part of. I'm trying to get the word out that I'm not just Bobby Durkins, but I will tell you this before I go. Right now I'm working with Tiger Paul Craven and Jordan Bowman. They are covering Clemson football with the fantastic Mark Rogers. I'm going to see about having them on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So everybody set your clock, your reminder, whatever, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I'm going to have two Bobby Durkins fans turned YouTubers themselves are going to come on the channel. We're going to talk Clemson football. They're going to give me some more insight on this NIL group, Dear Old Clemson. I've made some comments about Dear Old Clemson. If you're part of Dear Old Clemson, I'm not anti you. I just want to know, when you say you're well-funded, I want to know how well-funded you are. Can you actually be as competitive? And I'm going to get into that with them. And so I'm going to have them on. And then I do have an Auburn Tiger, one of the leading voices in Auburn football. He and I are working out of time right now. We started back talking today. So I'm going to try to have him on. Auburn football, guys, think about this. The best offseason head coach hire, not only this year, but in a few years with Hugh Freeze. That's going to be crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down this video. Everybody, we got a commitment from Ricardo Jones. I'm going to just do a Clemson college football talk. I'm going to start it within about 10 minutes, as quick as I can go back up. If you want to come back on, you want to talk, you want to put some comments or questions in here, I'm happy to just jump right in there and let's do that. Have some good stuff. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks again. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. Once again, it's all free. We got Ricardo Jones, a commit for Clemson over Tennessee, Florida, LSU, Auburn, and more. Good stuff going on in Clemson, South Carolina. I'll catch you in a few.